Hello and welcome. This video will be about migration and migrants from the UK. It will consist of 3 different interviews. The first interviewee will be Ms. Lannagan, and she will be the English migrant for us. The second interviewee will be Mr. Schoenmaker. He is our Dutch voter perspective. And the third one will be the policymaker. That's someone who has a business relationships or works with the English migrants. That will be Mr. Kranenburg. Now that you have some background information, let's get on with the video.
How are you feeling while living here? Like, are you happy or just generally neutral?
In general, I quite like it living here in the Netherlands. I think we have arranged many things quite well. It's a friendly country.
Okay, so, when you're comparing the Netherlands to other countries, are there any political statements you immediately think the Netherlands could do this better?
The Netherlands is the consensus country.
Yeah.
And which means we have many variations in political parties that you can choose, which is, I think, is not too bad. You know, there's everyone to choose from. On the other hand, that makes it very challenging, let's say, to actually make proper policy. In general, I think it's quite well. There's choice for everyone, but that's then also the downside. When I started voting 34 years ago, so when I became 18, back in the 80s, you know, there were only, really 3-4 main parties: PvdA, CDA, VVD. You had some small Christian parties, and you had some small left parties that now turned into GroenLinks. But that was basically it.
Do you know any migrants from the United Kingdom?
Yes, I do. I have, colleagues at school, but as well in my previous work that I worked, with people from the UK as well. Me working in the UK and vice versa. Me working here in the Netherlands and colleagues from the UK actually working in the Netherlands.
Okay. And do you talk about them with politics? About topics such as politics? Sorry.
Yes, sometimes actually we do. So I think in general, people from the UK are quite keen on talking about politics and why they are different from the rest of Europe. You can have, interesting debates with people about, why the British are better or why the Dutch are better.
Just a more general question. Have you learned anything about, for example, UK culture from your colleagues that you know?
Well, I'm not going to give a judgment if that's right or wrong. But what I like from the UK perspective, people say, yeah, but that's then the reason for Brexit, for example, is that they value their, tradition and also their independence. And I appreciate that they're, proud of their culture, their background, and who they are.
Yeah. What's your opinion on migrants voting for the Dutch government in the Netherlands?
So if you have a Dutch nationality, I think it's perfectly fine that you have the right to vote. But if you say, theoretically, you say, yeah, I live here in the Netherlands for 4 years, I'm an expat working for, in a top financial business job. I would like to have a vote. And then after 4 years, I move to another country. But with my vote, I can influence policy. But, I don't really care because in a couple of years, I will move away anyhow. Then we'd say, well, okay, voting is not just a short-term thing. It is for long-term policy. And your opinion should also have an effect on your own personal well-being in the future.
Yeah. Obviously, you've had some experience with UK migrants. Have they actually influenced your votes?
So indirectly, yeah, they have influenced me in my thinking in general about Europe. A lot of local legislation and policies, not at all. They are, they have a different political system, different ideas, different local issues. But on an international perspective, yeah, sort of.
What are your thoughts on people migrating to the Netherlands? Like, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? And what do you think the impact on culture or economy would be?
Let's say in general, I'm in favor of migration. Mm-hmm. However, if you decide to move, there needs to be an added value. So I think if people move to the Netherlands, first of all, they need to learn the language.
Yeah.
I think that's critical to be able to communicate. They need to be aware of our cultural values and norms, so appreciate it and also adopt them. Of course, you can have an opinion about it, but I think you shouldn't really question about it. So I don't like your political system, so I'm gonna be against your political system. Then I question, okay, why did you not actually move to our country?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, and have an added value. So find a job, do work, integrate within society, integrate within civil life. Then I'm perfectly fine. If you're just here saying, dear government, please help me. Because I need your support, but for the rest, I'm not going to learn your language. I have a completely different view on democracy, and I'm not going to find a job. Then I will have a challenge with that.
Yeah. So you're basically saying you will have to work for it.
Work, learn, and accept.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Could you say your name, age, and country of birth, please?
My name is Peter Kranenburg, or in Dutch, Peter Kranenburg. I'm 53 years of age. I live in the Netherlands for about all my life. Studied in Rotterdam, and I have my own company, and we focus on expatriates, which is, or the short version is expats, which are in a way immigrants.
Okay. What's your opinion about living here? Are you happy? Are there any specific points that you feel could be better about living in the Netherlands?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's another country where I would want to live. It's nice to go on vacation to Southern Europe or to the US or to Asia, but let me live here, and I hope to get old over here.
Yeah, does seem beautiful. Okay, could you explain us what your company does and what your function in the company is?
We CNG Career Service, we solve the dual career issue for our clients. For instance, you yourself are being sent by your future employer to, well, let's say Singapore. Mm-hmm. You have a partner, and then we help your partner with finding a job over there.
Yeah. So you basically support the family by making sure they have options and not just the person who's sent to another country.
Correct.
And what exactly is your function within the company?
I started the company myself. In a way, we are all career counselors, meaning we coach on a one-on-one basis the spouse, the expat partner with finding a job. And my main role is also, let's say, the commercial side of things. So getting clients, which is also important.
So everyone in your company is really close to the migrants themselves, because you're with
correct.
Yes. Is there any experience you've had with one of your clients that you'd feel I learned especially a lot from this experience?
Once I had an American guy. His wife came over from San Francisco to Amsterdam, and he was the expert in the area of non-violent action for opposition groups, which is so completely specific. Apart from him, there were 3 others in the world who could do that. So it took a while for him to find a job, and in the end, he found 2 different projects. But let's say the optimism that he kept while searching, while it took a very long time for him to find a job, was something that that's something that I admire in these expats. They're very optimistic. They have a lot of energy, a lot of ambition. And I think that's what you see with people who move to another country. Mm-hmm. You could call it an adventure, but you also need competencies, skills, and self-confidence to make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. Because, expats, of course, they come here for work, but that brings some challenges with them. So I guess you could say you get some quite interesting clients as well. Yeah. So speaking about interesting clients, have you noticed any difference between perspectives with your clients and people from the Netherlands themselves?
Really huge differences. I can give you an example. When we have a first meeting, an intake meeting with an expat partner, for instance, someone from the UK or from the US, then it's for 5 minutes. It's informal talk. Well, how's the weather? Was it easy to find, etc., etc. And then you get down to business for an hour. Yeah. When it's someone from Germany, then you talk for 5 minutes, relatively formally about informal things. Then I think, okay, now it's 1 hour down to business. But then after that hour, this German says, look. What does this mean? When are we going to that? What do you do? What do I do? What do you expect from me? So such a meeting takes 1.5 hours. Mm-hmm. But when it's someone from, let's say, Brazil, then the first 1 hour and 45 minutes, we talk about her family. And then maybe 50 minutes, okay, let's talk about the CV and what you want. And this is amazing to do this as your daily work. In context with all these different cultures with their different perspectives and mindsets.
Yeah, I definitely see how interesting. Regarding migrants from the UK, to what extent is Brexit the reason they actually come here?
We see growth, let's say, in the number of, let's say, non-British people who work in the UK at the moment. So they are immigrants over there, moving to the Netherlands or to the continent in general. And that's definitely about Brexit. They say it. They are clear about it. Look, I don't have a future anymore in London, in the UK. I don't want to go back to my home country, but I want to go to another country that offers me the same career perspectives. Yeah. And then the Netherlands is one of the options.
Okay, Netherlands. Are there any specific pull factors, like why exactly would you do want to move to the Netherlands?
In general, I think yes, because this is a very international job market, and we have a lot of headquarters of multinationals. We have a lot of NGOs, so non-governmental organizations like Greenpeace, Amnesty, that have their world headquarters also over here. You have in The Hague, you have a big cluster of, let's say, human rights organizations. So the employers, the international employers, are really out here, and also within, let's say, these headquarters, often the business language is English, which makes it relatively easy to work. But that's only, of course, headquarter jobs, and not everyone is capable of doing those kind of jobs. And in essence, the Dutch economy is still doing very well, and it's of course quite diverse, even for such a small country. If you look at Amsterdam and the broadness of the economy and the job markets, you have the media there, fashion, investment banking, internet, digital, tourism. Everything is available. Let's say apart from Corona now, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So in general, we're just a stable country with a lot of opportunities, which could be seen as a nice pull factor for people to move.
Correct.
So you're a migrant from the United Kingdom to the Netherlands, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And is there any significant emotional change living there? Do you feel happier or less happy?
The main reason I actually moved is because I was unhappy in the UK and I felt there were more chances and the environment was better in the Netherlands for me.
Okay. And did you move alone or with your family?
I moved alone. Obviously I was born in the UK and then came here, then moved back to the UK and moved back when I was 23, so I came back on my own.
Is there a specific difference to the Netherlands compared to the UK?
In what regard? I mean,
any regard. Is there one thing you'd specifically notice about?
If you're looking for positives or negatives, I mean, the more positive about the English is the social aspect. People are more social there; they go out and do more things, etc. Whereas the Dutch kind of keep to themselves a bit more. But with regards to work and opportunities for furthering yourself, the Netherlands is better. University costs in the UK are ridiculous. It's much more affordable here. I did a study when I moved back, which I wouldn't have been able to have done in the UK. So in that regard, it's better here, which is one of the reasons I did come back.
Okay, so you say there's more opportunity for development, and it's easier to do so.
Yeah, because in the UK it's a very, the expression, a dog-eat-dog type of environment, and it's who you know and where you live and how much money you have that help you advance kind of career-wise. Whereas here it's just on merit and your capabilities.
Why did you especially move to the Netherlands? Because I'm assuming there's more countries with opportunities.
Yes, well actually because my mother was actually living in the Netherlands, my father still lives in the UK, so I left him behind. Well, not left him behind, obviously we're all independent adults. But I moved specifically back to the Netherlands because my mother was there. So at the time when I moved across, I could live with her until I found a job and could move out.
Okay, so it's just the connection.
It was practical, yeah.
Do you surround yourself with other migrants or purposely not?
Not purposely not. Funnily enough, most of my closest friends are actually also foreign. One of my best friends, she's actually from Manchester. She moved to the Netherlands for love. And the same goes for my other best friend. She's Norwegian. She also moved to the Netherlands for love. And they happen to be my best friends. And obviously my boyfriend is South African. So I think actually I do tend to feel more comfortable with other migrants or internationals.
Okay, but that's mainly just a coincidence, or?
I think, I don't know, I do tend to, also in relationships, I tend to gravitate more towards internationals than Dutch people.
Okay, but would you say it's a conscious choice, or?
I think it's a subconscious choice.
Okay, yeah.
It's not like I'm like, oh, I don't want to befriend Dutch people, because I do have Dutch friends, it's just predominantly they tend to be also migrants or internationals.
You said you already mastered it, well, you already knew the Dutch language.
Yeah.
Was there any difficulty in actually learning it on a proficient level, or?
Yes, actually there was, because I'd lived in the UK for so long at that point. I'd been living there for like 8 years, and in all that time I hadn't spoken Dutch, so when I moved back it was very tough to get into it, and I didn't have like a more academic level of Dutch. Like I feel I was missing a lot of vocabulary, and I struggle to express myself, even now sometimes. English is definitely my more comfortable language. And even when I did my teaching degree, I struggled a lot with the Dutch researches I had to write.
In your case, did being a migrant make it harder or easier to find another job in the Netherlands?
Or obviously in my case easier because I'm an English teacher, so the native speaker. But obviously before I had this, I also had other jobs, and it didn't actually make it any harder. But I mean, the jobs I had before were administrative type, and they were just happy that I had a degree already. It looked, I don't know, impressive, even if it had nothing to do with the job, and it helped that I spoke English. But it didn't make it any harder, and that's I didn't find it hard to find work in the Netherlands, which is a nice thing. Whereas I did struggle to find work in the UK.